Storm Spirit that needs to farm, a Razor that needs to farm, granted a little bit less than a lot of these other cores, and a Troll Warlord that absolutely needs to farm. So where's the Shaker going to be able to go on the map is the big question for mine. At least this time around, they've fixed something that I had a little bit of an issue with, in that they've given BZM a bit more of an active hero, and they've given him the tools to be active with Tiger playing that Wisp. So I feel like Amara is eventually going to get to this state where Tiger leaves him, he just continues to farm until he gets that BKB up, and then they're ready to go. Before that stage, though, I'm a little bit worried with how much OG is going to lose on the map.
Maybe we can see BZM getting a bunch of gold off the back of the stacks. Like, Storm Spirit can farm really fast in general, and then you also give him... you also give him an IO to buff him up as well, which is going to be nice. And we saw... We casted the first series of OG. We saw them up against Fnatic, and they opened up the game one with the Irish Storm Spirit as well. We had the opportunity to cast another Storm Spirit yesterday, which was played from Ori on Asta. He looked incredible on it. So we have seen the Storm Spirit have some pretty good games, but I'm just concerned that he's going to have some difficulty getting to that stage. So what has to go right for OG here? Do we feel like the lanes are incredibly important? Do they need to try and look to enable one of the cores in particular? Or what do we need to see from the game plan coming out from OG?
Well, I don't think there's going to be... I guess now that you've picked the Troll, there can be some rotations coming through from Seb to be able to protect those power runes, right? Like, you could just stay in range form on the Troll Warlord. There's not a huge threat of dying against a Tusk Lycan lane. Sorry, a Tusk Weaver lane. Not a Tusk Lycan Weaver lane. There we go. Third time's the charm. But, yeah, I feel like at least you've got that potential to contest and make sure that Quinn doesn't have a free lane this time around. I think, of course, the Storm Spirit a little bit stronger of a hero as well, at least in the laning stage against the puck, and it's going to be really important that he hits up onto that level 6. What are we chuckling about?
Double shin queued up top. Look at that.
I don't know about cute on the left one, though. That face is a bit warped.
Hey, what the hell, man?
It's the terrain, not his face. Calm down.
Leave this guy alone. One of the best 4 players and just...
The best.
You put him as the best?
Oh, yeah. He's the only one I trust to make this a Shaker work.
Seb's gonna have a word with you.
He can have all the words he wants. Won't make Shaker a good hero. Look at this as well. Some nice little pulls happening with the Wolves. Don't even need to leave the lane to it. I'll see you later, Courier, as well.
Guess that is one thing for OG. You've got a lane dominator down bot in regards to the Razor. Top lane, the Troll Ward's an incredibly strong laner as well. So do we feel like for early on for Soniqs, this is kind of the game plan in particular for top lane, just looking to avoid the troll and try and deny as much away as possible?
Yeah, that's absolutely the plan. You know, if they even get out of the laning stage equal, I think it's a win for Soniqs, just because they're going to be able to put a little bit more of that pressure on early, and you've specifically drafted like an IO Razor, very, very strong lane in terms of securing the core's farm. You don't really get kills, but that's fine. You know, Amar just wants to farm early on. Same sort of thing with the Troll Warlord. He just wants to farm. You're not going to be able to get kills with this Earthshaker unless Seb is like perfect with his fishes.
Take a look at how our bottom lane shaping up for the moment. MSS has already been able to play around with the small camp, so give the Morphling a free wave under the tower, and of course Shua is going to be more than happy with this, having plenty of base damage to work with thanks to the attribute shift.
He's level 3 now as well, so he's feeling pretty satisfied. MSS still has 1 tango left. I think he's got his courier coming out with just a salve for now, so he'll have to just plant one down because he knows that there's not going to be too much regen coming for him soon. Mid lane, pretty even, slightly OG favored.
You see BZM's
much better this time around for OG.
But definitely where it collapsed was in regards to those rotations. Like the lanes, we can speak all we want about kind of the Hunter and the Knight, but it did really feel like it was just off the back of the rotations to be able to help out Quinn. As we're going to see BZM, nice play. Quinn was trying to come over and gain some information of the stacks. See what BZM's been up to in the jungle. So we'll eat a little bit of damage, but of course both the position 2s have some bottle sips to be working with.
Seb's in a little bit of danger here if he's not too careful. They should see that he doesn't actually have the Fisher, so I'm a little bit surprised that Leslau hasn't made a bit of a rotation through to try and punish him a little bit. No boots just yet. Weaver should be able to chase him, but well, he's going to be able to back off. First blood would have been a big get for Soniqs to be able to claim. I wonder if Fada looks to move out of this lane now that Leslau's happily farming this camp and try and snag that bounty rune before protecting the 4-minute rune for Quinn.
Looks like they won't be able to move MSS away from bottom. I was under a little bit of pressure from Amar with that static link. Actually, is he going to move or just stack? No, MSS going to look for the stack instead. So no one's going to put the emphasis on, at least for the water runes to start. As soon as I say that, Tuss starts to make the rotation. So it does look like once again it's going to go both to Soniqs, which is important. And we saw previously with BZM not having resources to be able to sustain from the harassment from the puck. So this could be a concern for the next couple of minutes. Top lane, Seb might be in a bit of trouble with the wolves. Really nice micro coming out from Leslau, and Fada's going to be able to find our first blood, I believe. T2 Tower, is it enough to protect him? One point in the Sakuchi, but Fada's going to go for it. The bounty is well worth sacrificing your life.
Gives him a good way towards that level 4 as well. Leslau continuing to farm very safely. He's got a full creep wave as well to be able to go back to. So yeah, once again, a very solid early game coming through from Soniqs. But the difference is, this time, mid's at least farming. You've got Amar farming as well on this bottom side. That's secured. That was never the concern for OG this game. It was what happens once you hit those timings that allow you to make those
he's playing so well.
Like
Quinn is playing so well. Tiger, anticipating this movement as well, is going to be in a position to protect the Storm Spirit. So that is a coil expender. Then they don't get the kill, but they do shove the Storm Spirit out again. But it really feels like they have the read. Game 1 and Game 2, it is shut down BZM.
They did miss that point blank illusory orb, though. That probably would have been enough to secure the kill for BZM. I don't think that was actually an infused raindrop, that charge that got expended for that one in particular. So pretty big deal that Quinn isn't able to take advantage of that first Dream Coil timing. BZM's now going to be able to come back to the lane. I'm sure he's telling Tiger to get the hell out. He needs that level 6 ASAP.
It's definitely something that the puck can snowball off. You get that one kill, you're able to move it into another with the coil, but now the fact that BZM will be working with the ultimate shot. Look at this, they're even glyphing the wave to make it difficult for BZM to try and get the power rune. It's going to be bottom as well, but
and it's a regen.
BZM, he's got MSS nearby. Shards, it's on the mark. Seb's going to look to TP in. They've got the bugs as well with Fada's rotation, but the massive amount of damage onto MSS is going to push the Tusk to the left side, but that's not the issue. As again, Tiger coming to rescue. As BZM will be okay, so the second coil not going to secure another kill.
Did you see what Tiger did as well? He picked up the regen rune so that when he was tethered together with BZM, it actually made him so much more sustainable. So not only does he save him, he also denies it away from the puck, who had to use a lot of resources once again to be able to go for that kill attempt. This is just OG responding much better to the aggression that's coming through from Soniqs. They're expecting it, and they're adapting accordingly, so nicely done. I almost thought that they would have been in a position to, if they secured that regen rune, invade into this stack that's been built up by Tiger for BZM. Again, just giving him the better early game. Moving up into a triple stack, I believe. Actually had it observer warded previously, and they had Fada stand inside the camp, so they realized it didn't spawn, and that's what ended up allowing Tiger to place down that sentry ward and just get a bunch of free gold and experience for himself.
It looks like they're even going to put the Storm Spirit back into the jungle as well, just so Seb can get some valuable experience. Of course, Yoshika does kind of need some items. I've seen on some of his builds, he doesn't mind going to the 8th lens if he feels like the blink is kind of out of reach, but Rocky is playing alone. As Lau's got Fada and MSS moving to top. They're even going to TP Quinn as well. And it looks like Uragi being so far away from the tier 1 tower means that reinforcements will not be an option here to keep this Troll Ward alive. So finally, Soniqs are going to be able to get a kill on the board, and Quinn will claim it.
This is what always happens with OG, though. You have to lose someone to make all of this stuff happen. Seb, he's been able to farm a little bit more in that mid lane. He's around for that power rune timing, so he's going to be able to take away the arcane rune, or at the very least protect it for BZM. Hopefully he gives him a bottle sip. Oh,
Quinn. Oh, it's going to be
He's
laid
low on
down.
mana.
The orb, like you said, he's not going to have the potential to get it off, and now BZM gets a much-needed kill, and Seb tips Quinn as well, and they've got the ball rolling now on OG. The cores have had an incredible lane. You've got the catapults coming out shortly as well, so they could consider to put some pressure onto the towers in the next couple of minutes.
Fader's actually, they're pinging out the fact that he TP'd down to this bottom side, so they may be saying, okay, you've got more freedom to be able to play around this mid lane.
Chain control's going to be perfect before the attribute shift, and I was able to toggle that one. Meanwhile, across the map, though, Fader, he does go down solo to Amar, so this is a very different look at the game we have here compared to game one. Soniqs were off to a flying start. They're able to snowball the lanes and Quinn with the rotations, but now they're going to be going up against 3 cores on OG, and we've seen time and time again that has been the recipe for success.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, I'm just seeing a bit of a movement top from Seb. He's already level 5, so he's been doing a really good job getting a lot of that experience coming through. Tiger demoted back to a little bit more of that true POS 5 role as Seb plays his greedy style. But the thing that I'm really looking at is that you've got these heroes with the potential to jungle. You know, it's very important for them to be able to maintain their tower control on OG's side because, like I was saying before, Shaker is a greedy hero. He needs to be able to go to a lane and farm safely. So if they don't have these towers to play around, if they don't have the map control, someone like a Storm Spirit or a Troll Warlord that do a decent job in the jungle are going to need to take that lane farm. So it's very important, particularly pre-Blink Dagger or BKB or whatever you want to, the Aghanim Shard on Seb, that you keep these towers up for as long as possible. They're eventually going to lose the tier 1 top because, you know, you're up against a Lycan, but mid tower is going to have a lot more focus onto it. I wonder if Soniqs even choose to make a rotation with that siege creep into it.
Yeah, do you want to go mid or defend bottom? Because you got Fader already here. Quinn is also pathing down, but the Observer Ward's going to scout at the Puck's positioning.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
What's the call? Mid or to bottom is going to be the play for Soniqs.
I don't think you can defend bottom. That's the thing. Like, you've got the Dream Coil, sure, but the damage coming through from everyone else just isn't there. So, yeah, mid lane is the choice. They've already got Yoa starting to push it in. They're trying to bait some rotations coming through. Of course, Tiger assisting BZM with keeping the mana up as well as that movement speed. He's got a regen bottle too on BZM, so I'm a little surprised that there hasn't been a heavier rotation towards this mid lane. They still will get it. But it's a little bit of damage being put into this tier 1 tower. Leslau just prioritizing his farm for now, wanting to get up into that Vladmir's offering. For me, it really feels like they had the opportunity to secure that tier 1 for themselves.
It does still feel like OG,
7.
even with this 2,000 net worth lead, they might struggle with the 5 heroes on Soniqs. And sometimes we can see Amar's actually one of the more, I think, active Razors, where if a fight breaks out, he will look to connect. I've seen other Razors just really look to find this BKB. So I think that's something that you can use as an advantage here for Soniqs, like coil onto multiple heroes with the shapeshift wrapping behind the tower. So I too thought they were going to put at least the plays onto mid, but they feel like they're in a position where they're looking to continue farming. I mean, he's getting a lot of me time towards a triangle, 3rd in net worth. He's got the Morbid Mask and working on the Asha next, so Yuar is definitely having a really good time.
And Seb's still farming. You know, that's the thing. He's easily the most farmed core right now. You've even got a very nice arcane rune.
This is a big kill. Look at the wolves being able to scout out the positioning from the Troll Wall. Meanwhile, the river, though, we do see Fader go down.
Battle trance here.
And they could potentially turn around with the relocate. Quinn instantly with the silence. They're going to turn with the coil as well, trying to deal with the IO. They need to be cautious about Seb's positioning. He's trying to path his way into the middle. Echo Slam's going to get dropped down onto MSS, but Yuan with the turnaround of the replicate. Fissure controlling up OG, but Amar, he showed up to the party. They got BZM with plenty of mana to work with as well, but look at Soniqs. Guiding OG for the moment. Leslau playing his distance, making sure they don't group up. BZM is going to go back in. They've got the Centaur Conqueror to hold back Amar. Quinn even jumps in the middle as well. Yuan's going to show up. A waveform forward, trying to deal with the Razor. They'll turn to the Storm Spirit instead. With the resources lacking on BZM, he's still got enough mana to zip out to the right side. But Soniqs, they're in fighting shape. Quinn and Yuan in combination together will find a big kill onto Amar.
fight went on for so long, man, that I don't think the recap even covers it all, but that was just the power of the power rune. Like, BZM for sure dies if he doesn't have that one there. He's just able to play around a little bit more, go for that one extra kill onto Leslau without giving up too much for himself. So, well, it's pretty much an even trade, I would say, between the two, but again, in any kind of farm trade, you're going to feel much happier on OG's side because this Troll Warlord's going to get out on the better end of it. Seb, again, they're prioritizing his farm. He's already been able to reach up into that Aghanim Shard timing if he wants it.
Soniqs are setting up. Coil just connects on the Storm Spirit. They need to get rid of the IO first, but this will give BZM an opportunity to try and pump in the damage onto MSS, but the rest of Soniqs are starting to show up. It's just Fada for the moment. BZM, he's not going to have the stats to be able to keep himself alive as Quinn maxed out Rift along with the orb secures the kill. They should get Fada. Time-lapse being on cooldown for the moment. Left detection, plasma field, not enough. Fada, stand still.
Random fissure in 3.
They're gonna see him. Oh no, plasma fissure. Okay, there we go. They'll use the fissure instead. They can work for it, but that is a big kill onto BZM. He was 5-0 before that fight, so Fada does get a little bit of a streak.
Gonna be nice for him to pick up as well. He's gone into that Urn of Shadows. Very normal for the Weavers in that support role. Just gives you a lot of that passive regen that lets you stay out onto the map, nearly finishing up into that Spirit Vessel with a kill streak. And even just small things like having that
bottom lane, Danog. Yuragi's in trouble.
Uh-oh. No battle trance to play around either.
MSS should be able to block off the retreat. He's close to the tier 1 tower. They're gonna miss the shot. Oh no. An uncharacteristic mistake in our BZM. He's gonna turn up with the Orchid reveal. They'll target the task. They haven't secured the kill just yet, thanks to the Centaur Conqueror and the fissure once again from Yua. Holding back OG to the northern side, and Quinn. Phase shift, dodge, echo slam to no avail. And now OG, they're on the retreat, but Quinn wants to make sure that's not a possibility. He's gotta be cautious though. Ace Rune giving them some distance, but they're gonna consider about going back in. Yua again, this goddamn replicate. He's showing that he can play around with the Earthshaker's abilities, but that will be all she wrote for that skirmish down bottom.
He was a little bit off with the ice shards there, but a great observer ward placed up prior to that fight by MSS, knowing the full scope of that fight, knowing who was going to be rotating through, who was joining, who was retreating, what was the mana situation like. And actually, this is a game, I know I've been a little bit critical of the Orchid purchases on heroes like the Storm Spirit lately. Not this game. You've got an IO for that mana regeneration, so it's actually not too bad. Rune on bottom side, denied away by Leslau.
A double fissure and BZM's going to be in, but perfect positioning. The snowball to buy enough time so Quinn can get the abilities off, and they're going to turn it back around as Tiger goes down, and Soniqs, they'll live to see another day.
This is why you give MSS the tasks. Plays like that, he is just an absolute god on this hero. Shades of FY back from TI, but he's just able to get the key saves that they need. They identify the key factor of this team fight. It's the Orchid. It's being able to take Quinn's influence out of these fights, and what a great turnaround there by Soniqs.
Without a doubt, but we're going to have a huge fight soon to break out. We're waiting for Beekeeping in particular on Amari's, needing a little bit more gold to complete the recipe. Yuragi also needs 2 components, but for the side of Soniqs, this is Helm of the Overlord now completed on Leslau. And if they're able to take a fight and come out on top, this could potentially be a tier 1 tower, maybe even screw the tier 1 tower. They could just lead straight into Roche. So OG, they have to be flawless in this next team fight, otherwise Soniqs could get a lot of objectives off the back of it.
They only see one thing on the map right now. Yeah.
Great positioning. They're going to look to go all the way around. Fada's already trying to sweep across, seeing if there's any more reinforcements.
I was about to say that's the only thing that they had vision of on the map at that time, the triangle. Seeing where this Troll Warlord's potentially looking to farm, seeing where Razor's potentially looking to farm. But yeah, I think it's really important, particularly with what you said before about that Roche being the big objective that they need to secure on Soniqs, taking advantage of the Tusk, of the minus armor coming out from the Weaver, to actually convert onto that. So if OG are able to take away this mid-tier 1 tower, it's a pretty big deal.
This is a huge board for OG. Dude, Fada, how does he know always? BZM's going to try and blow him up, but again, MSS is in with a snowball. They got to be cautious if they group up, because Quinn with the coil could be an issue. Fisher's out, Seb controlling of the moment. Aman's going to reveal the BKB. be able to break the coil and get out to safety, but that is a big timing now expended. No BKB on the Razor to protect the tower.
Double damage as well, and there we go. Ancient Thunderhide able to secure it for themselves. Maybe, but maybe you're not feeling too confident with the fact that no Dream Coil is available. They found Seb instead. This time the Ice Shard's on the mark.
You fought with such determination.
See what the call is going to be.
They could just look to secure some of these extra tier 1 towers, right? Like, you don't feel safe to go into the triangle now with the tier 1 mid gone, but you really don't want to do it with this tier 1 bot if that's gone too. But with this Observer Ward, it would provide a lot of that ganking potential if they were wanting to go down that route. As Yuan finished up a Manta style as well, looks like he has. So nice way to be able to remove that Orchid onto himself. Maybe now they feel confident in being able to go and take a fight on Soniqs.
And for OG, what are we looking for in these team fights in regards to their prioritization? Who has to be the first man killed off?
Kind of feels like MSS, doesn't it? Like, he is the one turning around all of these Orchids onto the key heroes. That time around, it was just a Weaver, but previously it was Puck. I feel like, you know, you're getting to this point where Quinn, he's going to have the Yule Scepter for himself. Tusk going into a Blink Dagger so he can stay well onto the backlines. Butter's going into a Lotus Orb as a position 5, so yeah, he's... everyone's having a good game so far on Soniqs in terms of their itemization, their positioning. It's just, are OG able to outfarm them to make it not matter?
It's a big ward placement from OG in the top lane. They're able to scout out multiple heroes connecting to Leslau. So we'll have confirmation of Soniqs' position. We recognize that.
Lane's pushing in as well. Quinn, he's going to need to reveal himself on that mid lane. Doesn't really want to, though.
Dude,
trying to stay in trees.
I know how Fado always knows where wards are. This guy is crazy.
Wow. Quinn has the Yules now as well.
It's a big item.
Completed along with the bottle, along with the Aegis. Very big timing coming through from UR. He wants to be part of these engagements. You know, we always talk about the Morphling having a little bit less of that early-ish impact, but not now. Not that you've got the Aegis, not that you've got the Manta style. He wants to be on the front lines. How close to a Blink Dagger on Seb? Not quite yet, but I do like this. I actually prefer the Aghanim Shard build on the Earthshaker because you have that constant presence. You're not waiting for the 2
I think
minutes.
they smoked under a ward. Soniqs are ready for this. Look at Quinn's positioning as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to blow up the Razor with a threat of the BKB. They need to deal with the Earthshaker and the IO as well.
They really want to try and find MSS here. BZM going around onto the backlines. Has that Orchid available? Wolves know everything.
So for Soniqs here, I think ideal fight for them is going to be Leslau trying to deal with the Earthshaker, just running the summons towards the backline, and Quinn trying to deal with the IO as well. You know, preventing the potential relocate out to safety and just making it so he can't freely spellcast in the middle of these fights.
You are very far forward.
And they're going to pounce on this opportunity. They should be able to get BZM, but relocate out. Storm Spirit's going to be fine. Meanwhile, MSS, well, that snowball under the tier 2 tower is definitely not where the Tusk wants to be. And OG find a freebie, and they're instantly going to move to the opposite side of the map, looking to try and claim some territory for themselves.
Yeah, this is finally the time where they're able to go out onto the map, claim some more of that farm, and if anyone shows, now they have the potential to die. Don't have that Tusk save available. Obviously, still, Morphling probably not the one that you want, considering he's got that Aegis, but Puck would be a fantastic kill at this stage. Yeah, he was actually snowballing onto either the Storm Spirit or the IO. That's why he went all the way underneath that 2-2 tower. It wasn't anyone that was revealed at the time, so clutch play coming out there from Tiger.
I think we might see some difficulties for OG in how they're able to keep Soniqs in place in these team fights. It's really, for them, it's off the back of the control on Seb. And if they don't have the Earthshaker to lock heroes in place for Soniqs, then BKBs are going to be kited. That's in the name of the game. You have so much mobility for Soniqs to play with. Sakuchi on Weaver, Orb on Puck, Lycan's mobile with Shapeshift, Morphling can waveform out. So I've really got big concerns on how OG are going to be able to take these fights. If they don't get multiple kills off the back of the fissure jump, then these BKBs are just going to be avoided, then Soniqs can go back in afterwards.
A little bit worried for OG though. Seb just picked up the gem, but the the core mentality is showing, not using the first use of that invisibility reveal up onto the high ground to show that Soniqs actually have this clip warded next to the Rose Pit. It's very important that they were able to take that one out, just to prevent a lot of these invasions into the triangle. They might even claim
Miles
it.
under a
You're right, he's not
ward.
holding it. Yeah, and he's on his own.
I think the Plasma Field saw Fada. They still have the T1 tower to play with. They're really looking to force the BKB. Will not get that out though. The rest of the team starting to converge down bottom. Yuragi's going to be scouted in the river.
He's the one holding the gem at the moment.
Yuragi charging forward. They're going to catch Seb to the right side as well. This is a big pick-off if they can find the Earthshaker. Seb turns it around. Echo drop. First life not available to play with now in the Morphling. They're going to look for the chain control after which Yuragi can waveform out to the left side. But OG, what an incredible start to the skirmish. But can they get anything more?
They still haven't BKB'd on Yuragi and Amar, so they just want to run.
I'll do just that. Chasing them out to the left. They clip Fada with the fissure. He's blocked into place for the moment. They don't have the detection just yet. Yuragi should be able to step in with the vision. Fada's not long for this world thanks to the snare. Dude, Seb, beautiful spell casting fissure onto multiple heroes. The Echo as well before Yua is able to react.
I think we'll see him drop the Echo Slam as well, at least prior to picking up this Blink Dagger, just for the extra little bit of stun that you get from the Aghanim Shard, casting it anywhere. It's really important to be able to lock down these really mobile heroes, right? The Morphling. Honestly, all 5 of Quincy heroes have an insane amount of movement capabilities in these team fights. So a lot of this heavy lifting is onto Seb to provide what you were saying before, that ability for OG to just fight in this enclosed area. So something like that choke point where the fight broke out, it's an ideal situation for OG.
And a little bit back onto this gem as well that you mentioned before, or picked up from Seb. I think this is an incredible read for them because Soniqs are going to have the vision advantage with the Wolves constantly scouting them. And again, the positioning from the supports is priority number 1 because we've spoken about how important Seb is going to be for them in these fights, and it comes down to vision and who gets the jump. And you know me, Dano, I'm a gigantic fan of early gems. We really saw that from Eastern Europe back when they were able to kick it off in the DPC. I think that was the 2-2 regional finals where we really saw them kind of showcase what an early gem could do.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
He's
tower
actually got
is under
10
attack.
seconds left on his TP, so they're going to be forced to pop the glyph here if they hold any hope of retaining this tower. Although top side, it's being pressured just as hard by
Dire's top
Leslie.
tower is under attack.
EZM forced to make that rotation through. Wonder if it'll be enough. But looks like the Thunderhide might end up dropping.
Dude, Seb, he's predicting this perfectly. They're baiting Storm Spirit. Let's see if they can blow him up. But as soon as they see Seb, they're just going to sacrifice the Tusk life. Leslie is out for the shapeshift. Amar is pretty goddamn fast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Ooh, Plasma? No. Not going to be
Up to
available.
bottom.
Yeah, that extra movement
Oh,
speed.
no, chilling.
Dire's middle tower is under
Extra
attack.
movement speed from the IO. Maxed out Storm Surge. Hasn't even hit that key timing at level 20, right? For the extra Storm Surge movement speed. That's when it's really going to start to get crazy. Said 200 gold away from that Blink Dagger. On Sonic's side, a little bit away from the Skadi for Yua. That's going to be a big deal. Not only providing them with the superiority with regards to their movement in team fights, but also
Dip
just
in.
slowing down some of these BKB timings.
Quinn's out, but they're going to be able to get the control afterwards. And they don't have MSS nearby to protect him. Beautifully done from OG. BZM and Seb in combination to be able to control the puck.
And in the gem back to Seb. They just now want to cement their control over this top side of the map. You aren't going to be able to protect the top tier 2. Leslie are always going to be able to secure that one with the Ancient Granite Golem, but yeah, they're just trying to take away as much of this triangle as well as the Roshan protecting areas as possible, so that Soniqs find it that much harder to convert into the second one.
Yuragi, incredibly far. Level 20, top of the net worth, 4,000 advantage over the Lycan. He's having
Without a Battle Fury.
Yeah, without a Battle Fury. How are we expecting Tiger to play in particular with these fights? Like, who is he looking to tether? Or is it maybe just him playing off the side and waiting to with the relocate save instead?
It's reactionary, honestly.
Okay.
Like you can make a You can make an argument for Amar needing it. You can make an argument for Yuragi needing it. You could make an argument for that save. It really just depends on where the fight breaks out. If it's, you know, around the Roche pit, you probably want to have it as that saving grace. Not to necessarily go all the way back to base, but just to be close by to prevent the initial burst from coming through. But if it's sieging an objective, just toss it onto one of the cores.
Smoke off from Soniqs. Needs to be the full wraparound. OG have firm control of the triangle. This is not going to be an easy high ground to breach. Mars on the front though. I don't see him with the invis. Quinn's going to try and deal with Seb. That is priority number one. Core's going to hold him back. Quinn unable to blow him up. They're going to relocate the Earthshaker back to base. So now without the supports, the Soniqs look to continue with a team fight to the north, to the northern side. They're going to zip forward. They're unable to control Quinn for the moment. He's in a little bit of trouble. An orb to reposition, but Seb, he's back in the midst of it all. The fissure control, locking the puck down in place. And now OG, they're pursuing on for more. They've got the advantage to clean up the rest. Soniqs lose 3. They're going to lose a 4th as well. Why not go for the team fight? Seb, he'll snip out Leslau, a fissure to cancel the TP, and a 5-man wipe, and OG lose no one.
Very, very nicely done. And just the composure as well coming through from OG. BKB's being used so late into that engagement. They really wanted to play around this vision. Just kite back, kite further and further away from Soniqs until Tiger and Seb came back into that engagement. It was just really, really good. And eventually, when they had the advantage, that's when they popped the BKBs, when they feel that Soniqs can't run away from them. Almost thought that that would be the huge timing for Yuara as well. He just hit the level 18. He wasn't able to get the morph off though, and the Skadi as well that he picked up immediately after didn't have the greatest impact. Yeah, this is just overcharged, bro. 1 minute on that Aegis timer. Let's have a think. What can Soniqs do to be able to come back into this one? It honestly kind of seems a little bit on the rat side, right? You've got a Lycan with the AC. You could certainly look to stand nearby, shove out a few more of these lanes, make life a bit more difficult into that second Roche. Maybe they're just feeling that with the BKBs being popped, they can take a fight, but they're all
just gonna hold them. BZM's gonna be in.
Nice punch.
The damage, it's fast enough before the IR reactions. Oh my lord, Storm Spirit taken out of the equation. And now Soniqs smell blood in the water. There's an opportunity for them to potentially take this fight, but you need to respect the control from Seb once again. As you are, repositioned with a waveform. They need to deal with Amar. That's where Quinn can come into play, but the BKB once again protecting Amar. And now they'll turn to control up Leslau as the backline. Seb standing strong. Echo drop, getting rid of the Lycan. Seb's gonna jump back into the middle. They don't have the damage follow-up to kill off the Weaver, but Yua's in trouble. A waveform to the remnants of the Tier 2 tower, but Yuragi, the Giga Chad of this game, they don't have an answer to the Troll Warlord, but they've got all the control they would ever desire to keep the puck from being able to get back to the safety of the base as OG will find 4 and potentially close out this game with this last siege.
Oh, he's playing damn well.
And there it is.
That is it. Like, Seb played a phenomenal game this time around, and normally you don't get the freedom to do so, but I really, again, want to give credit to Yuragi and BZM for taking a little bit less of that easy farm. They went to the jungle, they gave him the lane creeps to be able to pick up for themselves. That a support needs the freedom to be able to do. He was able to pick up a lot of that early farm. He got the Aghanim shard so that he wasn't just a bot until he picked up that Blink Dagger, and then ever since he had that, I don't even think we saw a Blink really used to its fullest potential. It was all just about that team fight control. So really, really great performance coming through from Seb. Great adaptation